My name is Jessica Hoggard, and this is the part B for roleplay 6A with Simon Leung. Here is the counselling notes. I have his name, session 4, the date. The goals were to be more confident, outgoing, and popular, to apply techniques, strategies to reduce his anxiety. The topics discussed were the anxiety, negative and positive feelings can impact the way we behave, which touches on the CBT therapy. Realizing that he has the power to let the negative feelings go. I think that was a real nice kind of realization for him when he was able to, understand that he has the power to do that. For interventions and strategies, we discussed ACT therapy briefly. We reviewed what we discussed in the previous lesson. We also briefly discussed CBT therapy about understanding how the way we think can impact the way we behave. And we also discussed challenging those negative thoughts through the homework task, as well as doing a mindfulness exercise, which was Leaves on a Stream. Next session, we're going to debrief on the homework task, which is getting hooked, and we're going to reflect on the homework task during the session together by using the struggling versus unpacking technique. So the reason why I chose the getting hooked technique is I wanted Simon to understand the initial, once he had the anxiety comes and creeps in, I want him to kind of understand what his immediate thought or how does his mind, what space does his mind move to? For example, where it says, what did your mind say or do to hook you in? I just kind of want him to have more of an insight of what triggers it and in how he's feeling in that moment. Also just to kind of analyze how his behavior changed, which we kind of briefly talked about in our session, when you got hooked, and just kind of noting those down, because in the moment it is quite difficult to really understand those feelings and that behavior, and I think it would be important for him to just kind of note that, and we can unpack that a little bit more together. And also, most importantly, when he was experiencing those behavior changes, how did he manage that? How was he able to unhook himself? And today he was taught a mindfulness exercise, and I'm hoping that he will apply those or challenge those thoughts. I think the whole purpose of it was for him to just get more of an understanding of how he's feeling and how he's behaving as he's experiencing the feelings of anxiety. Okay. I think the impact I guess I've kind of mentioned that already, is just for him to have more insight. And also I would like him to, once he's been made aware of the thoughts and the behavioral changes, I want him to be able to notice those, and then in the future be able to make that realization of, oh, there goes that negative thought, or oh, I'm noticing myself kind of withdrawing, and to kind of counteract that and to challenge that, and for it to be a fluid process for him so that he can get a real grasp and control of his anxiety. I do think what would be a challenge is, it can be quite daunting and confronting, really understanding and recording the negative thoughts and putting it onto paper and putting the way that you behave on paper. It's kind of like solid in front of you, and it can be quite scary and confronting. So I think that's where I'm going to step in and support him through that, and just remind him of his strengths and how far he's come, and we'll unpack that more. And that's why I wanted to do the struggling versus opening up technique together. I wanted it to be a supportive and collaborative approach, kind of just to affirm that, how much did you struggle with those feelings, and discuss it together. I wanted to be there just to support him through that, and have that discussion, so then we can set new goals for the next session. Yeah, so the reasons I said that. Okay, reflecting and evaluating use of counselling communication skills and neuroeffectiveness. Okay, so for me personally, I think overall it was a good session. I feel like I'm much more comfortable. I do feel that naturally I'm using attending behaviours. Also, due to it being the fourth session, I wanted to get across that we do have a rapport in a relationship. So there were moments where we had, a laugh and a giggle and a joke and, a little bit of banter. And I feel that's important to develop with a client. And I felt that it wasn't planned for, but it was natural and it was reciprocated on her part as well. Especially when I joked around about her having a snooze, it just to lighten the mood a little bit. There's another example. I always say I don't know why. I think it's just me, my train of thought and just thinking about what I'm going to say next. I don't know if it's a negative thing, but it is definitely something that I'm aware of. I also noticed that at the beginning of the Leaves of a Stream exercise, I repeated the instructions. I think that was just a bit of nerves, and I've never done it before. I did feel that as I was going through the mindfulness exercise, I felt that my voice was calm, it was slow. I just wanted to be relaxing as possible for Simon. I could see he was very relaxed. I think I felt it was really challenging, the pauses. It says 20 seconds. I don't know if I did 20 seconds. I think I might have done 10, 15 seconds. I think I just felt uncomfortable. So that's definitely something I'm aware of for next time. I also like the fact that near the end of the counselling session, I kind of linked back to reminding him of what his goals are. I think on reflection, I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. Just mention that what his goals are and then review it again at the end. So that's something for me to consider for next time. What I definitely need to develop is I struggle sometimes with my choice of words. I know what I want to say, but sometimes I can't articulate myself. I do think, and I'm just being 100% honest, I think just the pressure of being video recorded has an impact on me, because in this environment I feel much more natural and comfortable, whereas it's a lot more intense doing the role play. So yeah, I'll be interested to know what it's like in a more natural context. And also the person that I'm interviewing is a counsellor. She's a working counsellor in my school, so there's a little bit of added pressure. But yes, I know that sometimes I struggle with my words and I can overcome that. I just need to more practice, keep practicing. Anyway, thank you for your time, and yeah, see you next time.